Really English. I'm an acrylic landscape painter and artist who focuses on the agricultural landscapes of southern New Jersey. Last year was the first year that I offered my photography in the form of a calendar, and I've made some improvements with the help of my customers and the feedback that they have given me. I wanted to share those improvements with you and also tell you the story about each photograph in the calendar. So the first thing you'll notice about the calendar this year, it is not spiral bound, it is saddle stitched. If you open it up, there is a preview of the previous month and for the next month. So if you're planning out events, you don't need to take your calendar down to do so. Also, the locations of each picture is listed right here, and they go from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4 for each month. Another improvement that you'll notice in this year's calendar is that I've also included some smaller pictures along the bottom of the calendar. I had some customers request more pictures in the calendar, and instead of creating a collage up at the top, I decided to design it to have pictures along the bottom. I really enjoy the larger photographs, and it's also great for the people that were chosen for the large pictures. They can cut them out and frame them later on and hang them up in their homes. If you flip to the back, there's information about me, my artist statement, and services that I provide, and also a collection of some of my acrylic paintings. On the back of the calendar, you'll see a preview of each month. Also a reminder that $5 of each calendar is being donated to the Salem Tech FFA chapter, and information about becoming a farming contact if you would like to be in next year's farming calendar, and also ways that you can reach me via my website, email, and also on social media. The 2019 Salem County Farmlands Calendar is only available through pre-order, which you can do through my website using the link below. They will be available for local pickup during my holiday open house during December 1st and 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you're not local, you can choose your shipping option during checkout. So to start the year off in January, we have a very familiar scene here in South Jersey, the snow geese. This picture was taken while I was on my way home from grocery shopping, and my mom was with me, and I just had to stop and get a picture of them. I remember smiling a lot because it was really fun just watching them coming into the field, and also it was incredibly loud. If you've ever stopped and watched or listened, you probably can hear it in your mind. So the next picture is taken at Wilson Brothers Farms in Daretown. It was a really cold sunset day, and I just had to stop, and I really loved the way the light was reflecting on the plow. The next picture is taken along Canhouse Road with Aldine in the back. It had just snowed. I had suited up and I went on a 2-mile hike to get pictures in the snow to use as painting references. And the next picture is a tractor found at Coleman Feed. And again, it was just a really cold, beautiful sunrise. So moving along to February, this picture was taken in a field at English Farms, and is a picture of Aldine. It was right before a large snowstorm. We had the whole family on a four-wheeler ride just to get out of the house before the snow came, and you can see familiar locations in Aldine. If you live in Aldine, you might be able to spot your house. The next picture is of Williams Farms along Daretown Road. It was a great sunset, and I just loved the way the cows were hanging out and checking me out. The next picture is of William Brooks Jr. in Elmer, New Jersey, now Dusty Lane Farms. They were having an auction, I believe, last year. I fell in love with the green truck, and I contacted Michael Brooks and asked him if I could go over and take pictures before the auction, and he allowed me to do so. And the last picture in February is of Alexis and Laura Coleman's farm. It's one of the barns on their property, and the sunset was just on fire. I loved the purples and blues and oranges in that picture. So moving along to March. This picture was taken at Sickler Farm Route 77 near the circle. It was a really cold day. I had ventured out to get some photographs, and I had arrived just after this baby was born, and I just loved watching the cows and seeing how the herd was reacting to this new addition to their family. The next picture was taken actually the same day at Coombs Sod Farms. The sun and the clouds were beautiful that day, and I loved how the trucks were lined up with the silo in the back. The next picture is actually from my backyard, and I just wanted to share it because March is a great time for the forsythia bushes, and I loved the contrast against the really angry sky. As most of you know, March is really wet, so I just love the two colors and contrasts together. And the last picture in March is from Coleman Brothers Farms. I just stopped by one evening to take pictures, and I loved the sunset against the bins and also the tractor. So April's main picture was taken along Shirley Road, but I had just come back from Elmore. I was on my way home, and I absolutely loved this cloud formation against the blue sky. Just reminded me so much, and I chose it because it just shows the unsettled weather that can happen in April with the change of the seasons. The next picture is from Coleman Feed. You can see the barns in the background, and I loved the sunrise against the blossoms that were beginning to grow. And the next picture is from Tice Farms in Elmer. He had just gotten done working the fields, and I had stopped by, and he allowed me to take some pictures of his equipment. And the last picture in April is from Coleman Brother Farms. I just loved the wood grain and the blue sky together in that picture. So moving on to May, probably one of my favorite months. We were on the back of our four-wheeler as a family, just taking a joyride, and we came across our friends Myers Farms. They were planting corn, and I just love the clouds in this picture and the colors and the trees just starting to get their leaves. The next picture is at Tice Farms again. Barry let me check out his farm and see what inspired me, and I love this old truck with the orange against the blue sky. It was a great farm find. The next picture is along Garrison Road. And the last picture is Schaefer Ag Services. They were spraying a field, and just before they got started, I was able to catch some pictures of their equipment. So now on to June. I was asked by a few of my customers to include the fishing industry here in Salem County, and I was able to do so with the help of my dad. On Sundays, during the summer, we usually take rides around Salem County, and just for me to get pictures. And this was one that I had taken along Stone Neck Road, and I just loved the boat in the background with the baskets and the grasses and water. I thought it was really beautiful. The next picture is taken at Robinson Farms and Hens and Honey Shop. I just loved that the cows were checking me out and that this one had a mouthful. The next picture is Schaefer Ag Services again. Before they started servicing a field, I took some pictures of their rig, and being part of the community of agriculture, I thought they'd be a great addition to the calendar. And the last picture is of Wilson Brothers Farms. You can see their farm in the background, and their potatoes are just beginning to blossom. So moving along to July. It's a very familiar farm for many people. It is Arms Circular Farm. This picture was taken from the old train station along Route 40 looking towards their farm. I just absolutely love the corn rows and the silos and the colors together. It was just Salem County through and through. Just a beautiful picture. The next picture was taken at the Salem County Fair of the antique tractor building. I love the green and red tractor together along with the flags. It was a great symbol for the month of our independence as a country. And the next picture was taken along Beasley Neck Road. We were out as a family, and I just loved this location and decided to pull over and take a picture. And the last picture is taken at After Six Farms in Canton. My dad and I were out for a ride one day, and we stopped by chance because I saw an old truck. And I had an amazing conversation with the owner, Calvin Hill. He was so sweet and so willing to let me walk around and just enjoy his property and his beautiful old trucks. So one of the trucks that I fell in love with at his place. So moving on to August, this picture was taken at Coleman Brother Farms. They happened to be harvesting potatoes near my home, so I threw on my muck boots and grabbed my camera and was able to get some really amazing photographs. I chose this one because of the light shining through, the dust, and I love that the truck was almost full. The next picture is taken at our friend Steve and Kathy Williams' house at It'll Do Acres. We usually bring their cows and their horses the stalks from our sweet corn as a treat, and I just loved the way they were checking me out under the fence. The next picture was taken at Animal Family Farms along Route 45. We happened to be out on a date night. We were on our way to Hoodocks, and I wanted to stop because the truck was beautiful against the sunset sky. And the last picture was taken at our friend Frogfish and Honey down in LAC. Turning to September, it's a beautiful sunset that was taken of Myers Farm along Route 40. This is actually Commissioner's Pike right here. Route 40 is running this way. I was at the train station taking pictures. The next picture is the famous Cowtown Farmers Market Muffler Man. I actually painted him and have him on handtails, and this was one of the pictures I used to paint him. This picture was taken from my backyard. I loved the sun shining through the two posts and the golden grass in the background with the hints of fall. And the last picture at the bottom is of Wilson Brothers Farms. Happened to be running errands, and my good friend Ben was out combining with his daughter Brooke in the combine, and he allowed me to stop and take some pictures while he was just getting done a row. And for October, this picture was taken at Jimmy Coleman's farm. I loved the perspective of the corn and the glow from the sunrise against all the corn husks. The next picture was taken at the Salem County Fair at the antique tractor barn again. I just love the arrangement of the corn, and I thought it was really went well with the harvesting of corn that happens in October. The next picture is of Kurt Sickler's combine. It's a beautiful morning sky, and I loved it against the red combine. And the last picture was taken at Coleman Feed. I loved the warm golden sky against the dewy spider web. Just reminds me of the feel of October. And moving on to November. This picture was taken actually on Election Day. It is from Williams Farms. I had been out running errands and decided to stop and take a picture. I loved the colors of the trees and the hay, and it just was a beautiful November morning. The next picture is in Jimmy Coleman's field and a deer that was running across. I thought it was a great picture with the tree colors and the irrigation in the background. Made for a really interesting composition. The next picture is along Commissioner's Pike. I just happened to have my camera with me, and I just love these guys. They just let me take pictures. They were not phased in any way, and the gray skies reminded me of some of the cold that happens in November. And the last picture is Wilson Brothers Farms along Bridgeton Road. The blue sky and the beautiful tree colors with the soybeans that hadn't been harvested yet was just a beautiful fall picture. And the last month, this picture was taken again at Jimmy Coleman's farm. It is looking towards his farm. I was actually taking a picture of something else, and I decided to turn and take a picture while the birds were just landing. This photograph was chosen to be in the Courier Post, and it was published last December, and I just had to include it in this year's calendar. This picture is taken at She's Farm. I had taken another sunset picture of their tractor that's on the front cover, and I had turned, and I just loved the silhouette of the trees against the really active sky. The next picture is of Alexis and Laura Coleman's farm. I was out taking a hike in the snow, and I just thought it was beautiful the way the snow was on their plow. And the last picture was taken along Shirley Road. It was one of the many times I went out last year and was photographing snow geese, and